You and I, we both watched alpha males on the internet say that you need to make a lot of money, you need to have 20 girlfriends, you need to buy this watch, this supercar. But even if you wanted all of that, how do you actually get there? If I could think with my brain back when I was 15, 16, I would be in such a different existence right now. But I'm grateful for what happened, because now I can tell you, when you are 16 years old, what you can do with your life. And some things you can just add here and there, which will help you fast track wherever you want to go. I am 23 years old now. When I was in my teens, I used to have enormous level of social anxiety. One day when I was in school, I literally played a game with myself to not speak a single word. I was literally just sitting in the class by myself, and I was just a spectator that day. I literally spoke 0 words that day. Then I went home, and immediately after coming home I ate 0 food, and the first thing I did was play video games, play Minecraft for like 10 hours until I had to go to sleep. As you can imagine, I felt like shit. My sleep was terrible. Despite doing all of this, in the back of my mind I always knew that one day I will be rich, but I just didn't know how. And I always knew I wanted to look good in clothes and without clothes, but I never did anything to do that. Then one day when I got home from school, I started playing games like usual, and I was playing Unturned with my friend. Unturned is like Minecraft, but a zombie apocalypse kind of game mode. I'm not sure if that game still exists, but back in the day we used to grind it alongside Minecraft. As I was playing that day, it was approximately 4 PM. Now I remember I was talking to my friend about something as we were killing zombies, when all of a sudden, the door of my room slammed open, and there she was, my mother and my dad, crying. And at the time I was 15 years old, and I just didn't understand what they were doing. Turns out the dog we had died, and I didn't fucking know why. They told me that a car hit our dog. So at first I couldn't believe the news because I was so shocked, and I literally thought they were pranking me. But after a while of them sitting next to me, I started to believe them, and I had so much emotions inside of me. I wanted to cry, but I didn't want to cry in front of them. So as soon as they left, I cried like I have never cried before, because I really loved our dog. That was literally my only friend back in the day. After about 2 hours of crying and doing nothing, I realized, oh shit, I'm on TeamSpeak with my friend. And turns out he was no longer there because I was muted for 2 hours. He did not know what I was doing. For a few weeks, I literally couldn't live properly. Every time I was with someone, I literally couldn't pay attention to them. That sort of thing never happened to me before. This was the first time me experiencing something hard in my life. After a few weeks I was kinda okay, but I didn't wanna let go of it. So for the next year I was living this weird existence. But eventually I got over it, and that's when I realized I need to start living differently. I can't be this weird guy who does nothing and feels sorry for himself. That's when everything turned for me. That's when I started doing push-ups in my room. I always wanted to look good. I always wanted to somehow exercise, but I just didn't know how to start, where to start, blah blah. We all know that struggle, don't we, bro? That's when I started to go out with my cousin and his friend. To be honest, looking back, spending time with them was kinda shit, because they were in their own world and I was kinda joining in, but I just didn't know how to speak with them because their interests were different than mine. And that's the time I started doing parkour. That was kind of a escape from what just happened 2 years ago to my dog. I actually got really good at that, and that's when I realized that, oh shit, I'm actually pretty strong, because I could do stuff that people around me couldn't. One thing we did when we did parkour was we climbed over walls. That's basically a muscle up, right? Nobody could do that without help of their feet, but I could. I was so strong. After about 2 years, my cousin broke his ankle. That's the end of his parkour career. And also mine, because I didn't want to do it alone. So that's when I started lifting. That's when I started to really turn my life around. That's when I started to speak to girls, kinda. Because I was left alone. I no longer had my cousin and his friend because they were doing something else. They turned into these weird metal kids. I don't even know where they are right now. So I was on my own, all alone, with something in my mind to do. I had a dream of becoming the best version of myself possible, of becoming rich, of becoming strong, attractive, masculine. That's what I wanted to do. I just didn't know how, but that I kept going for it. Fast forward 9 years. I'm here sitting and talking to you. As I'm looking back at my younger self, I was literally that guy who was afraid to talk to girls. I did not have any friends because I was afraid of if I'm gonna look stupid. And literally this is how I looked back in the day when all of this was happening. Chances are, my friend, you are 15, 16, 14, 18, whatever it is. You are in your teens. And you've been asked before, what do you want to do in life? When you were choosing like a school to go to. In our country we choose like what career path we want to go at age 14, 15. And obviously at that age you have no idea. And that is purposeful. That is done purposefully to you. Because in school you are programmed and taught to be a slave in a 9-to-5 workforce. They purposefully do this to you so you don't discover who you are in this world. But luckily, bro, now we have internet and social media and you can watch videos like this. In this video, I'll give you 6 things which will help you in your age right now. The first point I want to talk about, my friend, is think about your future now, before it's too late, because, my friend, nobody is coming to save you. I know it seems kind of scary right now, but my friend, if you do not create your dream life right now, somebody else will create it for you, right? You don't want somebody else to create your life. It is scary, but if you do this right now at your age, I promise you, everything in your life will be so much easier. When I was 15, 16, 17, I had no idea there is even possibility of thinking about this. I was so blinded and brain-rot by my parents, the school system, my friends, and I had no idea who I am. Because of that, everybody around me could do whatever they wanted with me. Some of my teachers were rude to me because I didn't know how to stand up for myself, because I did not know who I am. I had no self-respect. My classmates made fun of me because, of course, I was alone at the desk and I was doing f*** all, just staring into a wall. So a quick exercise you can do is to grab a pen and paper and just sit by yourself. Think about what you're good at. Who would you like to become in the future? Do you want to be a businessman? Do you want to work for somebody? Do you want to work for yourself? Answer them honestly. If nobody was looking at you, answer them that way. Full honesty. In the description, I'm gonna create for you a free Notion template with such questions you can ask yourself. Now, my friend, I wanna tell you about things I wish I started doing sooner. Number 2, in my story I mentioned I always wanted to be someone who works out and someone who looks very masculine and attractive. And my friend, I wish I started sooner with weightlifting. Start exercising ASAP. There are many reasons why you should do this right now, and the sooner you start, the better. People are always going to judge you. No matter if you are on a job interview, no matter if you are on a sales meeting, no matter if you talk to a woman, talk to your friend, talk to your parents, doesn't matter what you will do in your life. Everybody will judge you by your appearance. Because if you walk into a room with a belly, like a really fat beer belly, people will respect you less. That's just how it is. On the other hand, if you walk into a room with a broad shoulders, nice and masculine arms, different ball game, my friend. A few years ago, there was this girl I was dating, and I was much skinnier than I am right now because I didn't take lifting seriously. She obviously loved me and I loved her, right? You would say that it's all that matters. I took her on a lake for a date. In Slovakia, where I live, we have so many lakes here. It was nice, right? Sunny. The water was nice. There was this guy. Of course, there was some guy. You put a towel on the ground, you lay on that shit and you sunbath, right? So there was this guy 20 feet next to us. And my friend, as soon as she had seen him, I could feel the change in her behavior towards me. Every time I looked away and I looked back at her, I could see her looking at him. Bro. And I was dating this girl. She should be doing that to me, not to other men, right? Obviously, she was not a quality girl. That doesn't matter. But the point is, it's so powerful and I would advise you to take that in your advantage. Because people will judge you no matter what. So why not give them something to judge? How do you start training? I have the same question as you have right now, right? What I did, I started with push-ups in my room. I literally did like 4 sets of 20 push-ups, and that's all I did in the beginning. But really it gave me some results, but if I had started going to the gym much sooner, right now I would be twice as big and more attractive. What I would do if I were you, I would go to that gym and I would buy a membership for 30 days. Then I would go on YouTube and search for push-pull legs split. That's basically a training split where you like train on Monday you push, on Tuesday you pull, on Wednesday you do legs, blah blah. There's like a training split how you program what you train on a certain day. So go ahead on YouTube and search push-pull legs and the first thing that pops up, grab it. Because in the beginning you are so receptive to anything, so you will grow from whatever you do. Number 3, my friend, become a social master. My friend, this is a skill which will always serve you well. If you can speak well to people in this modern world, even to cameras. If you can speak well and explain things well, if you can express yourself well, you're gonna stand out from the crowd of people. I have many videos about this on my channel, so I'm not gonna spend much time here, but what I'm gonna say is, in the gym, make friends there, because there are people with similar hobbies to you already, right? And it's easy to make friends there, because you just, let's say you are doing bench press, right? And somebody is on the bench, but you want to go there, so you go and approach him and say, bro, how many sets you got left? Boom, conversation started and you don't even know how. It actually became a thing with my friends that whenever we walk to any new gym, that gym instantly becomes like a family atmosphere where everyone knows everybody and it's nice and friendly. Because the first gym I have been to, I started speaking to every single person there I could find. And I made friends with them, so I knew that guy, then they talked to each other and boom. Suddenly, everybody knew everybody in that gym. Every single time me and my brothers walked into that gym, we were greeted by every single person there. It's such a nice experience. But you don't know how to speak like that yet. We are gonna level that up. So the first step for you, my friend, is to read one book. And that book is called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. My friend, you probably have an aversion against books. I had the same thing, but it's so much better than reading school material. Because first things first, this is something you will enjoy reading. This is something you are interested in because you want to level up your social skills, right? And second, self-development books are written in a completely different way than those school materials you're used to. For example, this book is written in stories. It's very easy to read and it's actually nice to read because every time you read something, you get something from it. And this is all you need to do what I did with every single gym I walk into. No matter quattro, my friend, it's not something you should do, but instead something you shouldn't do. Do not fall into the modern degeneration trap. My friend, back in my day this wasn't the case, but right now, as I'm speaking to lots of people, I'm realizing that it's so easy to fall into the trap of becoming weak. Almost every single person I knew back in the day, right now, at this day and age, is down bad, is degenerate. They are watching porn every single night. they are hooking up with weird girls, bro. I don't want to say any names, but literally weird girls. Casual sex. They're abusing alcohol, drugs. Every Friday they go to parties. They wake up and the first thing they do is scroll on social media. They obsess about crypto and money, and they are so materialistic that their life is actually shit. I literally know one guy, let's call him Mike, who wakes up at 4 p.m. Literally, I finish my workout after a full day of working, and he wakes up. He stays up late, and he goes to sleep at I don't even know what time, bro. Maybe like 11 a.m, bro. Mike got addicted to drugs while hooking up with his weird girl. And no, my friend, this is not so rare, because I have one other guy who I know who did exactly the same thing and got a heart attack. He was in the hospital for 4 months because of his life habits. And he only is 21. I literally almost lost my best friend because of the way he was living. He luckily realized that, so now he's not doing that. But my friend, what I'm trying to tell you, don't fall into this degenerate trap of casual sex, porn, terrible sleep, alcohol, drugs, energy drinks, these things which the modern world gives you. Do not do that. Instead, you should choose what people call the boring life, where you live healthy, you don't eat junk food, shit, you don't drink sodas. Who the f drinks soda, bro? In my environment, I don't know a single person who does that anymore. I maybe am weird, but I am gonna be healthy my whole life. When somebody's gonna be watching this video and they're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna enjoy life, we only have one life. Okay. Go and live your life the way you want to live, but in 20 years, I probably am gonna be the only one alive from me and him. When you get away from this path, you're gonna be seen as a weird guy in the society. But my friend, this is not for me or for them, this is for you. And it's not even boring living like this, bro. After a while of developing yourself every single day, it becomes more fun than you've ever had in your entire life. Because you see the growth, either on your body, in your mind, in your work you do. You see it day by day. And actually, instead of feeling sorry for yourself like I did back in the day, you feel proud of yourself for doing these things. You might ask yourself, what are these things I should be doing instead of going to parties, drinking alcohol, smoking, all these things, watching porn. There are many, but I'm gonna tell you a few only because I don't want to overwhelm you. So the first thing you should do is do breath work or meditate. You probably view meditation as something which is weird and something that only monks do. But my friend, let me assure you, they do this shit, but why shouldn't you do this? Meditation is an exercise for your mind. You probably are familiar with social media and Instagram and shit, where you scroll and watch some content, watch reels, like those sliding memes. That is training your brain to be basically. In a few years, you won't be able to focus on anything. Meditation is reversing that. And actually is making you able to focus better, because meditation is basically you sit down or lay down and you focus on your breath. You focus on every single detail of your breath, when it comes out, when it comes in. That's all you do for 10, 20, 5, 1 minute. Here you can find a video I made about how to meditate years ago, because I'm doing it for so long now, and as you can see, I'm able to focus for so long just talking to you. The second thing I would suggest you to do is obviously working out. We discussed that before. The third thing is going for walks. My friend, you probably would rather just play a video game instead of doing any of these things. And that's fine, you've been conditioned to do that. Try to do this at least once. Go for a walk by yourself into the nature, preferably. And you'll see what that's gonna do for your mind. I'm not gonna say anything about it, but if you want to feel amazing, if you are depressed, go for a walk. I'm telling you right now, if you don't try it, you will never fix your depression. Mi amigo, the first point of this video was that you should realize and discover what you want to do in your life. But number 5 is If you don't know what to do, reading books is your solution. As you can see behind me, I have read plenty of books, and the reason is because I was in that exact spot as you probably are right now. I did not know what to do, how to do it, and nobody told me, so what am I supposed to do? Go online and search? Sure, that can work, but there is so much out there that you can find that it's gonna take you so long that it's actually not even worth it. Instead, find topics you are interested in. For example, money, business, maybe mentality, health. Whatever you want to do, there is a book for that. My friend, I can't even tell you how much I've improved since I started reading books. I'm gonna play a little clip of me recording the first video ever, just so you can get a comparison how I was back in the day. The reason I'm doing cold showers is because it's really uncomfortable and it takes a very big amount of will to do it. I've noticed that I got a lot more energy, and that, my friend, was only 2 years ago. Even I, when I'm watching these videos, I can't even comprehend what I've done in 2 years. That's insane. And all of that is thanks to reading, thanks to all of these books and my determination to actually change my life and become somebody who I want to be. And lastly, number 6 is consider subscribing to this channel, bro. My friend, this channel is a place for men like you to grow. There are many of us, because when you go into the real world, you are not gonna be familiar with outside people. There are gonna be some people in the world who will be very similar to you, but it's not that common. Just a few days ago, I was in the gym with my friend. We were doing dips on the dip bar. That's basically like a push-up but harder. And there was this guy who was also doing dips. He came up to us, like I told you before, and he told me, "Hey Lucas, how many sets you got left?" And at first I was shocked because I had no idea who he is and how he knew my name. Turns out everybody knows me in the gym. So I told him, yeah, of course, we got like 2 sets left, but you can work in with us. And he was like, okay, let me do it. So we were talking about working out, his diet, and then all of a sudden he mentioned, "By the way, Lucas, I do breath work." And I stopped for a second because I've never heard anybody say that in my life, in the real world. He said, "I do Wim Hof breathing exercises." And I was like, whoa, okay, there's somebody who does something like I do. And we started having this cool conversation. But the point I wanted to make is, there are people like that who will be on a similar path like you. But here, on this channel, there are hundreds of guys like that. Soon thousands, but right now hundreds. So join us right now, my friend. Click the subscribe button. And if you wanna go one step further, I'm gonna be soon reopening the new 1%, which is the best community of men like this in the world. So click the first link in the description if you're interested. I'm gonna see you in another banger, my friends. We go above and beyond. Bah!